We've been discussing outrage across the country after Hamas published a propaganda video on Saturday night showing Israeli hostages Eviatar David and Guy Gilboa Dalal being forced to watch as other captors were freed and begging to be saved as well. As we saw in that report, their families have given permission for the video to be made public. In it, the two young men plead for Benjamin Netanyahu to secure their release. And so now we welcome Ilan Dalal, father of hostage Guy Gilboa Dalal, who was abducted from the Nova Music Festival and has been in captivity for 506 days. Ilan, thank you so much for speaking to us. Your son Guy appearing in this vile propaganda video overnight, he and Eviatar David in the van being made to watch the ceremony of the hostages freed and then having the door of the vehicle shut. The extent of the evil there knows no bounds. What was your response? What did it feel like to even watch that?
Well, this is an inhumanity and a very cruel act of the Hamas, which is not surprise for us because we saw what they did in October 7. But what they did is a psychological war against these two young men that took him out of the tunnels just to see their friends getting released and going free back to their families, back to their lives, and then get them back to the tunnels. This is an outrageous, this is very hard, but in the other hand, this is a sign of life. This is the best sign of life we got in the past 16 months. Finally, I can hear and see my son in a video which was taken a few hours before it was published, and we can see that he's a little pale and a little thin, but he's okay, relatively okay, and he's speaking, and he says what the Hamas told him to say, but he wants to come home, of course. He wants to be just exactly like his friends that's standing on the stage and getting released. At the same time, he's watching them, and he pleads our government and our people, to the Israeli people, to do whatever they can in order to get him out and get him out of hell back to his family. So I find it a little bit encouraging because we can see that he is fine, he's not wounded, and this is the first time we see that, and we see that he's not alone, he's with his best friend Eviatar, and this is to give us a little strength.
It's so sick and twisted, as you say, but of course the video is proof of life, and it just solidifies the need to get the hostages out of terror captivity. Over and above the conditions there, the psychological threats and the games, the manipulation, just one more layer of cruelty. What did you read into his voice? Obviously much of what we saw was staged. It appears as much, at least. What kind of insights can you share about what you heard, if any?
Well, I don't really looking into what they said because Hamas told them what to say, but their plea to get back home is real. They really want to get back home. We are hearing now all around from the coalition in Israel, people that say that they want to come back fighting after the first phase is over. And I'm very, very scared that if it will happen, that this will be a death sentence to whomever stays behind, including my son. Because we know that the IDF cannot operate in full power in Gaza right now while there are hostages in there, because it's endangered them. They can die maybe from the IDF bombing, and maybe they will be murdered if IDF come near them by the Hamas, or maybe they just won't last in this horrible condition they are. So I think the most important thing right now for our government is just to continue to release all hostages, and after that they will have enough time to finish the job with Hamas.
You mentioned the comfort seeing Guy and Eviatar together, as you say, best friends since childhood. What kind of comfort or solace do you get from understanding the pressure that is coming right now, specifically from the United States, from Donald Trump and the new administration? They want to see all the hostages coming home. How does it help you getting through each hour of each day?
Well, first, when the administration changed, it was on our behalf, because I think that Donald Trump is one of the main reasons why this phase took place from the first place. I don't know if it would happen if not Donald Trump was in the administration. So we are hoping that Donald Trump will keep pressuring our government in order to achieve the second phase. And if he will put his weight on it, then I believe it will happen, and this is our hope. We get up every morning and gather ourselves together, because I know that my son is in the tunnels and is depending on us to get him out and to do whatever we can. And we are his voice, and we cannot be despaired in any time at all.
Ilan Dalal, strength to you and your family. We hope for good news about Guy and Eviatar and all the hostages. Thank you so much for being with us on the Rundown.
Thank you very much.